you for still staying tuned to Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. Have you followed us yet on social media? It's at Watch Tea or Coffee on Instagram and at High Impact TV and at High Impact TV UK across all social media platforms. Well, Omobolade and I earlier on were talking about children and vandalism and what parents are expected to do for such situations. We took quite say 3 or 4 case studies to see, okay, what should have been the parents' response in that situation. But of course, that's not all, because there is more case studies that we can look at this morning. But that would not just be me. I have a guest sitting in the studio this morning to have this conversation with us on who exactly should take the responsibility, or should we say blame, for a child vandalizing things. And our guest this morning is Oluyemi Malik Alfolaju, a proprietress and an unparalleled vision, who has an unparalleled vision of molding children's lives from toddler to adulthood. She is known for her ethereal passion for building lives, enriching minds, and mentoring stars for the future. She has a master's in social work and PDE, a member of Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, an internationally accredited nurse, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur who has her own NGO and caters for various children who has lost a father or a mother of 2, and a strict disciplinarian. I hope I won't be disciplined this morning. Thank you for joining us on Tea or Coffee today.
Thank you for inviting me. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. It's good
You
to
look
have you on the
good.
show. Thank you very much. You look good. I love your dress, by the way.
Thank you.
Just tell me where it will be after the show so I can come take it. All right, let's delve into the conversation. Children and vandalism. Let me start by asking, is it to be expected once you have a child that that child will spoil something? Is it something that every parent should just expect?
I will say yes and no.
Okay.
In such a way that you can't rule it out that a child will not have that tendency of, doing wrong things, definitely. And also it depends on the parenting from the start. Let me put it like, when you have your child from birth, you have to know what that child can do and what you are expecting or expected to do to make sure that you really take care of that child, as in from baby to adulthood.
Okay.
So you should have an expectation.
Okay. So what exactly can we categorize as child vandalism? You know, there are some things that children would do that they didn't intentionally do it. And then there are some that children actually intentionally did do it. So which one exactly classifies as vandalism, or which one is just a mistake?
Okay, vandalism, I can define vandalism as a act of, that's the you intentionally did that thing. That is vandalism.
Okay.
Because you don't have any reason, you just want to do it. Like the US Department, describe or define vandalism as malicious or intentional act of doing wrong thing, destruction of things, either human, either things, buildings and co. So all this, it is intentional. That is the meaning of vandalism. You intended doing it on your own without any reasons per se.
Okay, so should parents be responsible for acts of vandalism committed by their children?
Yes.
Why? Why did you say they should be responsible?
Yes, because, there are a lot of things attributed to parenting.
Okay.
If a parent is a parent, in quotes, we have parents, If you monitor your child from childbirth to toddler, there's something we call tantrum. A child throws tantrum very well, and you will see it in them from when you're taking care of them from birth.
Okay.
When this starts, you should know if this child will stop or will continue. Tantrum is of different and various, mood that children just exhibit. And when they're exhibiting all this, you have to be very, very, very attentive and very sure that you are doing the right thing to stop this. If you don't stop it, that is what graduate or result in vandalism at a later stage of life of that child. So actually a child grows from home before the child goes out. And when that happens, I think parents should know your child. If you know your child, you won't have issues. But if you don't know your child, definitely people will show you whom your child is. That is why I said parent has that blame if vandalism occur outside, because the children grows from a house or from a home to outside. So parent has better role to play in this.
Okay, so we asked this same question from our viewers, and we asked them who they think should take the blame for acts of vandalism committed by children. And we had quite some interesting comments. I'll start with Shola from Lagos, who says, no, unless they were directly involved. I find it infantilizing to treat parents as responsible for crimes of their children. It shows the children that they are not responsible and their parents are responsible. While parents should teach their kids, ultimately, kids are sovereign humans with the ability to think and reason for themselves. This is why they should be held responsible at an early age. Let me also state here that some parents really try. It's the child who is mostly the problem. You see children as young as age 3 or 4 already misbehaving, spoiling things in the home. My aunt has such a child. She has tried as a parent because my aunt right from time is a disciplinarian. She has scolded, spanked, cautioned the child nicely and everything. The child still behaves like someone sent to destroy things naturally. Which makes me even want to ask if there is a possibility that behaviors like this can be inherited. Okay, this is an interesting take. What do you think of this?
Yes, I agreed with her to some extent, but I'll still say something. From the pregnancy of that child, you need to nurture. There's something we call nurture. You need to nurture that child, nurture and nature. So nurturing a child from the womb means that you are praying into that child's life, what actually you want that child to become when the child comes out from the womb. So when that child now arrives and the child is birthed, and you know, from baby you still continue speaking that word into that child's life. Yes, children have tendency of destroying things. They have the mind of their own. They can do things that it will wow you that, why is this like this? But if you have time for your child, for that child, definitely, spanking will not do anything. Yes, you can talk to that child, you can call the child, you can make him face the consequences of the destruction he made at home. You know, this thing starts from when you are talking to your child, is throwing pillows everywhere, shouting, all that will, you know, there are ways that parents can, you know, curb this in the child. If you deny that child,
continue, I want to show you something. Because the direction at which you're taking this conversation actually makes me want you to see this particular video of a child and the interaction between the child and the parents for destroying something. Let's take a look at the video with the child breaking the TV.
Is it? Like, it was super dusty on the beginning, and now we wiped it all off.
Now we'll put the new one up.
Watch out.
Watch out. Stop, Leanna.
Well, that's the plan. Still has a cover on here.
Yeah, we gotta take the plastic wrap off.
How are we supposed to watch TV? Bleh.
Now I just gotta hook it up.
Yeah, usually I do all the electrical stuff, so we'll see how long it takes Lee to do it all.
This is kind of confusing. Get that out of here.
What's up with that? Wait!
What are you doing? Leland! Leland! Oh, Leland!
Leland!
What are you doing?
Why did you do that?
That's our new TV!
Those
Leland!
are really fragile.
That's our new
Why did you do that?
That's our new TV!
Leland, you can't. Now we gotta. Hopefully the TV works.
You gotta have to wait, okay? I gotta hook it up.
Leland, no!
No, you put that hammer back there. That's a brand new TV.
TV, Jill.
That's a brand
He
new
hit
TV.
it with the hammer.
God.
Why do you leave those hammers down? Leland, stop! Leland!
Hey! Leland! Stop it!
Leland! Stop it! It doesn't make any sense.
Alicia didn't do
Leland!
Alicia
Holy crap,
didn't do the
Leland,
pokey
enough!
You're dead to it.
Oh,
Leland!
a brand new TV!
Do you know how grounded you are?
You just busted a brand new TV!
Leland! Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. You wanted to play Xbox, so you broke the TV? Leland!
God, I didn't even tag off yet!
No, Leanna, don't touch it. Oh my gosh.
Daddy,
What happened?
Daddy, we can get
What did you do?
one.
You don't know what you did?
A new one.
Where we gonna get it from?
Daddy, who paying $1,000? We can just buy one.
You think money just get us out of anything?
I cannot believe it is 1:30 in the morning and this is what you're up doing.
Daddy, we can say sorry to the people. To be honest, Santa's probably not gonna give you no price.
Sorry to the people?
So work here.
What are you gonna tell them? Because I'm not saying we keep telling you to lay down and
Sorry.
we keep telling you lay down and you don't listen. Every single time you're getting in trouble every 2 seconds because you're playing with every single thing. I'm not getting you out of this. You're gonna have to explain this to them. You're gonna have to talk to them. When do you want me to call them? How did you do this? What did you do?
Was you helping her?
I mean, two videos, two different parents. One parent is scolding, one parent is just saying, stop, and leaving the hammer. That video triggered me so much, like, what? You are leaving the hammer with him. I don't understand. Now, you were saying something about nurturing and, you know, that parents should know exactly what to say and what to do when a child gets like this. Let's look at these two videos as examples.
Okay.
The first video of the new TV. What should that parent have done?
Of course, the parent should have collected the hammer from the child. That is, you take how do we put it now? That you take the ham
Out of the way.
that's out of the hands of that child. And for me, if I were the parent or the man, I will not buy another television into the house. I will let him know the impact of what he has done wrong. In fact, for the next 3 months, I will ground him. He's not watching TV. He's not going out, only for him to go to school and come back to the school. That's one discipline that you can give a child. Like a toddler, he's still a small boy. He might not even know what he's doing at that time.
That
But I
boy
will
looks
still
like a
say-
7-year-old.
I will still say that he knows because it's intentional. How do you know that you have to get an hammer? It is hammer that you can use to break something of such, you know. So in that wise, that child will just stay blank, as in you are grounded. No TV. Yes, I will also suffer it, but at least let him know the consequences of what he has done. And every day, like for me, if a child misbehaves in my school, I don't spank, I don't beat. What do? I will make you right. You will write and write and write.
Write what
till
exactly?
when your hand is paining you, what you have done wrong.
Oh,
you will
wow.
continue to write a whole 60 leaf for me and submit. I can give you 2 days to do that. I will not do this again.
Does that work?
It works for me. It works because beating you will not solve my problem. I will inflict pain on you, inflict pain on myself, and by the next day, maybe
You
your
do it
mom
again.
gave you paracetamol, everything is off you. But when you continue writing, I have a case that the mother had to come to the school and beg me because the girl has to still do her homework, like 3-4 homework home, and you still have to submit my own homework. I put her name there, I put my name there, the homework, everything. So she was so panicked that, wow. And she said, she's always begging her mom that, please don't report me again to Mrs. Alfolaju. It's better than beating for me, because the girl has, you know, shape up and he never go back and be saying all those vulgar words again in the school. You understand?
Yeah.
Because we say vandalization is not only physical one, emotional vandalization is there. When you talk down on a child, when you do abuse, you know, all these things, or you tear somebody else's notebook in the school, it's vandalization as well. So all this, if parents are not seeing it, and in the school, if the school management can take it up and help the parents in solving all these issues, we won't have all these miscreants and, you know, all these people out there. In fact, not only miscreants, there are a lot of children, you know, well-dressed, butter children, that they are also, they can vandalize.
But by butter children, you mean children of the elite?
Yes, nourished ones, the ones that their parents have enough money,
To take care of
to
them.
take care of them, that you won't even expect them to be doing all that. And you still see them finding out that they are the ones that are really misbehaving, writing things on the wall, and, you know, breaking rulers, all those things in the
So
school.
I
start from there.
One of the comments that we got was saying that, oh, Shola was saying that she was starting to think if it was genetic or if it was inherited. Is that even possible that, you know, okay, when I was a young man, when I was a small boy,
Yes, sir.
I did this, so maybe
Yes,
that's why
sir.
my child is doing it.
Yes,
But is
sir.
it proven that it is genetic?
Some parents, they made that true confession. That's just the truth. Most time when you are reporting that your son can climb for Africa, you just climb this place. When I was young, just like him, my mommy told me. You know, some parents will just look at sharp object and just use it to cut themselves. Just like that. We've seen so many. Just like that, and blood will be gushing out. They say, I was hard, though. I would just look at that parent. Is this a thing of joy to say? So that because what you have done, your child must do it also. You say, some will say, he's a boy now, what do you expect? He has to spoil because he's a boy? No, no, no. So all this, we take them to where they spoiled that thing. We show them, we ask, is it right to do this? Is it good to do this? You know, all that. And you discipline immediately. You discipline immediately. If others are going out for outdoor play, you stay in the class.
But there are some children that it's not because they want to intentionally or maliciously destroy something. They are probably exploring. I mean, we took a picture earlier of a child that was thinking that eggs were bouncing balls.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
so
and then
I was
there's
just
one.
trying to-
Yeah, there's one child who climbed a glass table. I was just playing on it and the glass table shattered to pieces. So how about those situations of children putting themselves in harm's way without...
They're exploring.
Yeah,
And
so
exploration can lead to danger. And let them face the consequences, because you know this that they do for us. Then when we were small, I remembered that we would take our hands to the candle.
Oh,
when
goodness.
you want to know that, okay, I need to teach you that harmful things are different from, you know, safer things, and you just put that hand, you put that child's hand close to the light, that see, Jojo. They always say that then, that so that if we know that when you
this is
see
danger.
anything of such, there's danger, so
There's a
you run
video.
away.
There's a video of a boy climbing a table. Apparently, the boy was just having fun. Let's take a look at it. I mean, it's high luck that he was not gravely injured. And I think what he was just trying to do, he wanted to tilt the umbrella to cover him in that chair that he was. That was what he wanted to do. He had done it successfully. In fact, he was leaning towards going back when the
to
whole
the
thing.
chair.
I mean, this is a child just trying to explore, just trying to, you know, have fun. But then vandalism has happened in the process. Now, if this happens in a public space, I mean, this is his dad's backyard or his mom's backyard, as it were. If this happens in a public place where maybe a parent just leaves their child, I mean, you are seated at the reception, you don't want to just hold your child tight, let him have fun. I mean, we have such a video. I would cover it now. Let's take a look at it. This child was in, I don't know if it's a museum or somewhere, and then he went to hug a sculpture rather, and the sculpture fell on him and broke, and the sculpture is $132,000. Like, what? Let's take a look at that video.
Hugging a sculpture on display last month. It then topples over partly on top of him there and then falls to the ground. After rushing to help that boy, the boy's mother soon learned the sculpture's hefty price tag.
This is like $800 or something. No, it's $132,000. I'm sorry, we're finished here.
Done. The city is calling the incident unfortunate, but says the artwork should not have been touched. The parents say they may need to pull money from their homeowner's insurance to...
Now, there's an argument that why didn't she hold her son to her side in this kind of situation?
Oh, like, I will say something that when you're taking your child out to such a place, you need to educate your child that it's not everything you should touch. Or, like me, I will tell you don't touch. Even if it is a rail, I tell the children I'm going out with, don't touch anything. Walk independently. Don't touch anything because you don't know. Maybe when you touch it, that is when something will happen. Even the rail might not be well fixed. Maybe it's shaking so that you will not tilt and fall or injure yourself. So in this, I think is the fault of the
parent,
museum and the parent, because before leaving your house or your home, you need to tell your child the do's and don'ts of going out with me. I want you to behave yourself. If you ask me before you do something, and the museum should have written, you know, something on the sculpture to tell us that, okay, this you cannot touch, it can break.
Unfortunately, adults will know not to touch stuff on display. You can even
touch, but not like shaking.
I feel like that sculpture should have been firmly held in place. That's the only fault that I might want to give the museum. Like, if for instance, I don't want anybody lifting this box, I need to find out a way to drill a hole
and fix it.
And fix this box permanently to the table. So anybody who comes just knows that if they don't unscrew that screw, they may not be able to pull the box. So what if, I mean, if the sculpture had been held firmly in place, maybe to the ground.
Well, I will say something. I will say something also, that they weren't the first person going there to watch or to look at it. Many people have been going there. If that has happened, I think the people would have, you know, corrected that. So now they correct the mistake. So you know, one. But at the same time, like I would say that vandalism, you know, the society have their blame, the parents have their blame also. So it's not all about the parents alone, but it's all about everybody.
Okay.
Like when they came in there, somebody should have been following them, like just a receptionist or somebody like an hostel that can just say that, okay, when you see the boy going there, oh don't no, touch, because the mother can just be distracted, looking at something else, and you are not looking at your child. And these children, you know, they are smarter than us.
Yes,
the way they move, you know, you'll have said, no, 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 don't touch this, don't do this, don't do that. You know, the parent will quickly like, look at this, what the child is doing at that time, and your voice will also speak. So I believed that both of them has the issues together to solve. So if they are charging the mother to pay, I think they should have something also to pay.
Dupe and Bishop, I'll take their comments. Dupe is from Ogun, and Dupe says, oh, well, I think this depends largely on the age of the child. someone has to be held responsible. If the child is too young or immature to be responsible, then the parents are responsible.
Absolutely right.
Then Bishop from Abuja says, yes, they should be blamed seriously. Bishop, calm down now. Some parents are not serious. They pamper their children a lot. And children's education should start at home, as parents are responsible for that. At home, children are educated by their parents or guardians on how to behave, how to greet, how to respond to others' greetings, how to respect people and their properties. Children who have been poorly socialized by their parents are more liable to commit acts of vandalism. Their actions are partially their parents' fault, and they ought to pay the cost of damages. Parents should speak with their children about the effects of vandalism and the fact that someone should pay. The better way to explain to a child that vandalism means, what vandalism means, is to show examples from life. Growing up, I remember my father was always showing me pictures of broken windows, ripped fences, or holes in the wall. Some children do not understand their offenses, which is true. They might not understand that paying for reparations will reduce the budget for their toys or their favorite games.
Yeah.
Children need to learn at home how vandalism affects a private property and why someone has to repair it. So, if a parent is failing to explain all these things to their children, then you have failed as a parent, and so they should be held responsible for damages committed by their children and pay. I like this comment so much. What do you think
love
about
it too.
Like,
Kudos to him.
yeah, I mean,
He has said it all.
it lends credence to what you were saying about if you're taking a child out, let them just know these are the rules. You break this rule, this is the consequence.
You're not going out again. That's just it. That's just it. That does not mean that you're wicked. You're just being disciplined. And because I always say something that discipline starts from within. It takes a disciplined mother, father to discipline a child. It takes a disciplined teacher in the school to discipline a child. It takes a disciplined individual out there to be able to discipline a child. If you are not disciplined, there's nothing we are doing.
So discipline takes discipline.
Discipline. You have to be disciplined, firm, and also know what you're doing. It's not just by, high service that I need to just show him and later you say, sorry now. It's just that, when you want to discipline, you discipline. When you want to pamper, you pamper. I always say that there are a lot of things outside there to pamper a child. But there is just one thing to discipline a child. You have to be firm. If you are not firm, that child will get spoiled. We just think that we are doing them good. We want to give them good life because I did not have that opportunity.
When I was their age.
I have to do it for my child. You have a nanny here. You have the driver. You have this. You have that. Make sure that that respect is there. Your child is disciplined. When you come back from school, don't litter your uniforms. Don't litter your shoes everywhere. Don't do this. Get your school bag. Do this, do that. You lay that rules every day for your child when they get home.
Let's draw a line between discipline and fear. Because we have a video of a young boy who apparently was playing, rough play as usual, and broke an entire glass door. And then immediately the door breaks. The boy should be about 10 years old. He picks up his phone and calls his mother and says, Mommy, the glass door is broken, I was playing and blah, blah, blah. And then
the mother screamed.
The mother was not even at home. He was over the phone. And then when he was done with that call, he attempted sweeping the glass. Then at some point, he just packed his clothes into a bag and started going.
Because he knows that.
Yeah, so how do we draw that line
fair.
and correct children in such a way that they would not feel like, you know what, I'm just going. I'm just not going to be a part of this punishment.
This woman will kill me when she comes. You understand? We need to. It's very, very important also. Because at a time when you're doing all this, you will see that, I'm becoming a terror to my child. You just have to go. Like I said, you have to go to God. That God should direct you, give you wisdom. Because without it, we can't get anything done right. Give me wisdom, how to talk to this child, how for my child to see that I really love him or her, that I'm not doing this for you know, I just want him to become a better person in life. All my shouting, will not go in vain on this child, you know. So when you're doing that, you also tell that child, like for me, if I'm disciplining my children, they know mommy can scream for Africa, you know. And they always say it to their teachers, ah, my mom, she can scream, she shouts, you know. But immediately I finished, I still go back to them. I'll tell you, I'll take you there again. I'll tell you the consequences. Look at it now. I have to buy this again. I have to use this money to do this. I have to do that. And you know, you like this, you want this. So, no, nothing for such. So they know that, yes, when it is time to discipline, mommy scream, mommy talks. And, you know, and I won't even tell you anything in English. I will speak that language to you for you to understand me very well. That, see, let me just tell you, this is it. I am not happy with you. I am so disappointed at you. But at the end of the day, we still hug each other and say, you know, mommy loves you. Promise we won't do that again. You know, all that works. And I always tell my children something, and even the children in the school that I manage, I always tell them something. Tell me the truth. Just the truth. That is all what I want from you. If you do it, tell me, mommy, yes. Face me and tell me I did it.
So I was actually going to draw a parallel between you as a mom and you as an educator, because we also need to look at the roles that educators play. Because you see, you as a mom, you have your own way of dealing with your own kids because they are yours. And there are some parents that will come to school and say, don't ever talk to my child like that again, or don't ever tell my child this again. I remember, for context, I remember when I was in primary school, social studies, there were topics like this that, in fact, you dare not write on your school desk. If it is found, you're in trouble. Like, there were so many rules that made it easy for us to just keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so the question now is this: what should educators do? Seeing that you are an educator yourself, what should educators do to ensure that even if that child does not have that kind of discipline from home, at least in school, that child is given, because I mean, education, the child should also get some form of, okay, this is what is right to do and this is what is wrong to do. So what exactly should educators do to ensure that children have the right sense of judgment when it comes to handling things around them?
Okay, thank you. Like I will say something that I always tell people, that if you have a school, that school must pass through that child that is coming into your school. How does school pass through a child? A child will pass through school when the child learns English language, mathematics, all those subjects. That is when this child has passed through the school. Let the school, no, the school pass through the child. Then the child will pass through the school by the norms, all this, how would I put it? The things that the child learn, other things apart from education, that is learning that, okay, this is how to sweep, this is, I mean, when you get home, this is what to do, and when you get to school, this is how we behave in the school, and then you take it back home. Like my children, I mean, the parents will come and say this to your children. We went for one party sometimes in December, and some parents came in to that party and with their children. When they gave them food, do you know what they did? They all said, let us pray together.
Interesting.
And those parents were like, Mrs. Anfolaju, what's this? Even outside. And other parents from other schools were like, wow, we love this. They prayed the way they did in school before they eat their food. They said all those things. Don't talk while eating. Don't litter the table. Don't litter your space. Don't lift your hands above other. You know, all those things you need to teach a child in the school also. And parents will continue to reiterate this to the child at home. So, as a mother and an educator, you are still a mother in the school. That is how I see myself to all those children. Even when they misbehave and they do things, I always make sure that I take my time before I call their parent, because I watch that child. Is it their child? Is it anything that is influencing that? Is it this? You know, I have my CCTV. I'm glued to it all the time. Like, it's on my phone, right? You know, I'm glued to it. When a child is doing something wrong, I quickly call the intercom and tell the teacher, okay, you are not paying attention to this person. He's just putting his hand under his locker. He's doing something. Check what he is doing at that time. You know, when they are distracted, I call so they know that Mrs. Alfalajo is watching us with 3D. So they don't even misbehave to that level. I'm not saying they don't misbehave, but at least I will be able
It's
to.
a
It's
measure
not
of curbing.
all things that they do in school
But there's-
that I tell the parents.
But there are some children, Ms. Afolaju, that will, because they know that there's constant watching and there's constant monitoring, they're no longer free to express themselves or even find their creativity. How does a parent or an educator help that child balance out of, okay, you know, there are some children that would enter buckets of paint simply because, oh yeah, it's paint, let's play with it. So how do you balance correcting a child and make sure the child does not vandalize stuff and still helping the child maintain that curiosity and that creativity that, you know, the child has?
It's all about training.
Training, okay.
Training. You have to talk to these children. If you don't talk to them, you can't even get things out from them. For me, or for us, for my teachers, what we do is we have a time in the timetable that is free talk.
Okay.
For the children. You allow them to talk. You pretend as if you are not listening to what they're saying. But, you know, with style, you are just there with them. And you are picking what each and every one they are saying. And you are just jotting something down so that you won't forget. By the time we need to talk to them, either on the assembly ground or this, we won't call that name, but we will correct all those wrong things that they have said. You know, if it's something, you know, some will just be saying, my mommy, my daddy, my diddy, the kids, you know, you call
Correct
the
things,
parents also to say, watch what you do in the presence of these children. And they might not even do it. You know, some children will just want to say something that let me talk to. No, children can lie too. So, you know,
Storytellers.
So we know that so we just say, it's okay. We understand what they're saying, but you know, it's not good for a child to come out and say this about the parent and do this and do that. So it's all about training. Training. You talk to those children. Like for my primary 3, 4, I call them to my office most times and I talk to them. I teach the ladies how to sit, how to talk outside, how to walk, even how to walk. I do it because I just want them to stand out. I want them to be able to raise their head up and walk gallantly anywhere they go to. Let them go to parties and see them that, yes, this is a babe, this is a child, you know. When they grow up, they won't forget it. I have a teacher in my secondary school then. I love the way she dressed. I love the way she walked. And, you know, since then, I've put it in my head that one day when I grow up, I have to dress this way, I have to walk this way, I have to talk this way. That's when anywhere I pass through, people must know that, yes, human being has passed through this place. So I love that.
Okay.
And I'm still imbibing it in anyone that pass through me.
All right. I am so glad that we had this conversation on the show today, but we have to wrap it up because there's still more to come on the show and time is not our friend this morning. Thank you for joining me on this conversation today. It was really nice having this conversation with you. And for parents out there, yeah, it's not enough to just tell a child, don't do that. It's also important to put things in place, set rules for children so they know what is right to do and what is not right to do.